Today's episode of Variant is brought to you by Domain.com.
Today on Variant, I count down my 5 most anticipated comic book movies of 2016. Welcome to Variant. We love comics more than I wish Superman ice cream was easier to find. I'm your host, Arris. Since we are reaching the end of the year, I wanted to do an episode talking all about the awesome comic book movies we're getting next year. Or more specifically, my 5 most anticipated comic book movies of 2016. And there are definitely more than 5 coming out next year. I actually think it's 7, but I'm not entirely sure. But in any case, let's look at the 5 I'm looking most forward to, starting from the bottom, working my way to the one I'm most excited for. Kicking my list off at number 5 is Doctor Strange, scheduled to release November 4th of 2016. Now at the time of me shooting this video, Marvel Studios has yet to release a trailer or footage of any kind for this movie, but nonetheless, it's Benedict Cumberbatch playing Doctor Strange. In my opinion, this is fantastic casting. I think it's just as good a pick as casting Robert Downey Jr. as Tony Stark / Iron Man, and that's mainly because Cumberbatch is a great actor. He's awesome in everything he's in, like Star Trek Into the Darkness, the BBC Sherlock series, and of course he did a great job playing the Dragon Smaug in the Hobbit films. He all around just seems great for the part in my opinion, but besides the great casting, a Doctor Strange movie could be awesome, especially if done right. I mean, you're dealing with a guy who's the master of the mystic arts. Doing a story around that, if written well, will be fantastic. Not to mention it will visually look amazing since the VFX will be dealing with all his cool mystic powers. So since Marvel Studios has such a good track record, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing one of my favorite mystic characters on the big screen. My number 4 pick is yet another Marvel Studios property, which would be Captain America Civil War, hitting theaters May 6th of 2016. I'm looking forward to this movie because 1, the comic this movie is loosely based off of is amazing. It deals with the Marvel Universe being split right down the middle. Half on Cap's side and half on Iron Man's side. Cap's side being anti-superhero registration, which would make all the heroes' identities publicly known, and half on Iron Man's side being pro-registration. 2, I think we can all agree that the Marvel Cinematic Universe as a whole has been great. So to make a movie where you have most of them fighting each other sounds like one of the best ideas I've heard in recent movie history, because for some reason us comic book fans love to see our favorite heroes fight each other even though it kinda makes no sense. But nonetheless, I'm definitely one of those fans. Plus, in this movie, Spider-Man is making his Marvel Cinematic Universe debut as well as Black Panther. And all I'm saying is it's about dang time they introduced Black Panther, and I'm also super excited for his solo movie in 2018. In summary, Captain America and Iron Man going head to head on the big screen with a bunch of other heroes fighting each other? Yes. Yes, please. At number 3 is none other than the Merc with a Mouth Deadpool, hitting theaters February 12th of 2016. Ever since I found out that Fox was making a Deadpool movie the right way and it was gonna star Ryan Reynolds, I was all in. Deadpool is an awesome character, so I'm glad they're doing him justice, and I mean it's even gonna be R-rated. And as we've all seen from the trailer, they're sticking extremely close to how he looks and how he acts in the comic books. From everything we've seen thus far, they've captured his sense of humor and overall demeanor perfectly. So I'm super excited to see one of comics' best assassins come to life. Also, this film isn't gonna be a superhero movie that a lot of parents are going to want to take their kids to see. Let's face it, Deadpool isn't really kid friendly, but that's also why most of us are excited to see this movie, because it's not a dumbed down version of the character. It will essentially be a rated R superhero action comedy, which we haven't really had thus far, and Deadpool is the perfect character to give us just that. At number 2 is Suicide Squad, coming to theaters August 15th of 2016. All I have to say is this movie looks awesome. I love the feel and vibe that the trailer gave. It's very different with a dark, gritty feel, but at the same time it keeps that fantastical element to it. Plus the whole idea of the Suicide Squad is brilliant. For those of you who don't know, the Suicide Squad is essentially a team of villains who are forced to perform suicide-type missions, hence their name, Suicide Squad. So the fact that they're making an awesome comic into a movie and it actually looks great has me all giddy like a little schoolgirl. Plus, this is the live-action debut of Harley Quinn, who's being played by Margot Robbie, and she looks absolutely amazing as Harley Quinn, and I'm sure her performance will match how she looks if the trailer is any indication. We also are getting our newest interpretation of the Joker on the big screen being played by Jared Leto, and I must say this version of the Joker looks like he's going to be the most psychotic Joker we've seen in a movie thus far. Like most people, I'm still getting used to how he looks, but Leto's performance most likely is going to be great. So with everything I just said mixed with this being tied into the DC Cinematic Universe, has me all in for this movie. And as I'm sure most of you guessed by now, my #1 most anticipated comic book movie of 2016 is Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, releasing March 25th. As all longtime watchers of Variant know by now, Batman is my favorite superhero, so that mixed with how amazing this movie looks, based off all the trailers and images we've got thus far, easily makes this movie my most anticipated comic book movie of next year. It's actually my most anticipated movie of next year, period. Everything about this film looks amazing. The Batmobile, Ben Affleck as Batman, Henry Cavill as Superman, Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman, and I could just keep going. And I love the fact that this Batman is very much inspired from the comic books. I mean, we're finally getting the iconic Batman black and gray costume, amongst a crap ton of nods to one of the best Batman stories of all time, The Dark Knight Returns, like the lightning sequence and the fact that Batman is wearing his armored suit to fight Superman. The Batcave even has the Robin suit hanging in it like the Batman comics and the cartoons do. But besides all the Batman goodness, the overall film looks great. The vibe, feel, and overall approach I think is going to make all us comic book fans very happy. But as I always say with my personal list, let me know what your 5 most anticipated comic book movies of 2016 are, because we all have different tastes and opinions, so put your list in the comment section down below. When you buy a domain name from domain.com, you get the power to influence and control what people find when they search for you online. No domain extension will help you tell your story like a .com or .net domain name. Domain.com is affordable, reliable, and easy to use. The guys at domain.com gave Variant an awesome offer. Get 15% off domain.com's already affordable domain names and web hosting when you use the coupon code Variant at checkout. So when you think domain names, think domain.com. First up for Wednesday, December 23rd, we have Daredevil issue 2. Back in black and on his home turf, Daredevil begins again in New York City as a new enemy emerges. Now we have Justice League of America issue 6. Bryan Hitch continues to test the world's greatest heroes. It's an all-out war against the forces of Ryu. And finally, we have The Dark Knight 3, The Master Race issue 2. This is the 3rd installment in the iconic Dark Knight Returns series. So if you love Batman, this is a must-read. And that brings another episode of Variant to a close. But before I leave you guys, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I hope you guys get everything your comic book loving hearts desire. If you don't celebrate Christmas though, happy whatever day you celebrate. But in any case, you could always follow our Variant Facebook page, keep up with the show and all things comic related. You can also follow Variant on Twitter at Variant Comics or me on Twitter at Arris_Quinones. But I'll see you guys next week when I talk about all things comics. you both are doing your own thing up there, what the heck? Ew, what is that? Sticky. Yeah. Oh, I got the Batmobile yesterday.